Your live interactive weather authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live interactive weather authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live weather authority coverage starts right now.
Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are all having a great day and enjoying some of this rainfall that is coming our way and also some strong gusty winds. We are certainly now going to start seeing things ramp up over the next couple hours as we are looking at some of the steadier rain starting to move in across the state. Please let me know what you guys are seeing. If you are looking at some strong gusty winds at your town or your house, if you're looking at some rainfall right now, we did have a little bit of not black ice, a little bit of light freezing drizzle and light freezing rain in some parts of the, inland Cumberland County area over towards Sebago Lake, southern Oxford County, up through around areas like Paris. There was a little bit of black ice being reported up there earlier this morning. The temperatures are warming up. We are now looking at just rainfall across the state, and we are going to continue to see rain as we head through the daytime today. So let's talk about it. Instead of me just talking, we'll actually show you. And you can see that we have some of the steadier rain now starting to move in across the state, which was expected around 10 o'clock or so. Most of this is going to start to move on in, and that's exactly what happened. You can see it really filled in over the last hour or so, but you also notice we have plenty of rain down to the south. But before we expand the view, I first want to zoom in a little bit closer to just southern Maine and central Maine in general. And you can see as we get a closer look to areas like Freiburg, Lewiston right now, we are looking at, call that a light to at times moderate rainfall. Areas down towards Sanford now starting to pick up with some of this rain as well. A little bit less over towards areas across the north, for example, areas north of Greenville, but you head down towards Skowhegan, we are looking at some rain. And even down towards the mid-coast, we have this. Look at this. I'm seeing this in real time. Some lightning strikes. Yeah, I thought that would happen today, but take a look at that. Again, I'm looking at this at the same time you guys are. One right there. There's a couple right there. There's one right there. Look at this. Yes, even a couple rumbles of thunder showing up on the radar right now. So if you are looking, if you actually heard some thunder out there, one, I wouldn't be surprised, but two, please let me know because I'd love to know if you did see a quick rumble of thunder in your town or so. But let's get back to the satellite and radar loop. And you can see over the last couple hours, we have seen a lot of the rain start to move in and fill in for areas like the Lewiston, Augusta area. Right now, again, not so bad down towards Wiscasset, over towards Brunswick, Rockland. We are looking at more so the wind starting to pick up in those areas. But let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see that we have really two rounds of rain. We have round one, which if I put a pause on this right now, we have round one, which is essentially moving through right now. That's this guy right here. That is all of this. That is essentially the first round of rain that's going to continue to move through. It's already moving through, I should say, and will continue to do so as we head through the afternoon. And then we have the cold front. The cold front is going to eventually move through, and it's right about here right now. You can see places off towards central and northern New York are already looking at some snow, flipping over to some snow up towards central New York areas off Lake Ontario. And I was looking at Buffalo, New York, I assume their airport. I was looking at what their temperatures were over the last couple hours, and they dropped, I think in a 2-hour span, these numbers might not be exact, but I think they dropped from 52 to 34 in like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. So that's just how strong this cold front is. We have much cooler temperatures in areas like Pennsylvania and New York right now because the cold front has already passed through. But that line, eventually that cold front will bring the chance with some rumbles of thunder, but also a little bit of some downpours, but this rain is going to continue as we head through the next several hours and into really this late afternoon, early evening. Now, again, you can see on the radar loop here, we still have plenty of rain to go. This is all going to move on through as we head through the next 5 to 6 hours. Now, let's get a look at some of the cameras all across the area. Let's first start in the Waterville area. Yeah, that is not a broken camera. That is just very foggy conditions. 52 degrees outside in Waterville right now. Over towards Auburn, Not so much in the way of fog. We have a little bit more in the way of rain showers. You can see some of those drops in the lens there. 50 degrees right now in the Auburn area. And it was very mild in Berlin this morning, and it's still very mild. We're talking temperature of 50 degrees, cloudy skies, a couple raindrops here and there. And look at the snowpack. Even in Berlin, New Hampshire is just completely getting erased, besides just some of the areas that, maybe just had some piles of snow from clearing off the runway there. You can see at the airport in Berlin, and over towards the Freiburg area, temperature of 37 degrees. We have some fog, we have some rain, and that is going to continue. Let's take one last trip down towards Portland, where right now the temperature is 50 degrees. And if you look closely in the bottom right portion of that screen, it looks like that is a field. And that looks like there is now some spotty areas of snow as compared to just a solid snowpack. And it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. This snowpack is going to probably get erased for many areas in the southern part of the state. Let's talk about visibility now. And you can see the visibility is very low in some spots. We had even worse visibility earlier this morning when I was doing the morning show. We had, I would say, visibility down to a quarter of a mile. And I think there was one point I did, a hit during the morning show in Sanford was literally 0 mile visibility. So very, very low visibility this morning. I'm hesitant to say we've improved because we're still only looking at 1.5 mile visibility down towards the Portsmouth area, 1 3/4 over towards the Sanford region, 2-3 mile visibility from Portland up through Augusta, Freiburg as well. So really not looking at good visibility when you factor in the rain, but also the fog across the region. Temperatures have been all over the place. And for some reason, some areas are just struggling to even get out of the 30s. So let's take a trip around the state, because you can see we have 30s and we have 50s on the map pretty much. And there are some 40s as well. But if you are in the southern part of the state right now, it looks like 48, 49 degrees does it for much of York and Cumberland counties. Over towards Brunswick, we have a temperature of 50 degrees. You head up towards the mid-coast, we are looking at numbers right now running in the low to mid 50s, 52 degrees over in Augusta, 51 degrees in Whitefield, as well as Booth Bay. Topsom coming in around 50 degrees as well, 49 degrees over in Turner. And then we'll take one last trip up towards the north. That's, of course, where we have a temperature of 34 degrees right now in Denmark. So we are looking at some cool temperatures, and maybe that's due to some valley locations where the temperature is located, because most areas across the north are running in the 40s to near 50 degrees, but still only 37 degrees in Bethel. Head up towards the Berlin area, it's 13 degrees warmer. So the numbers have been all over the place throughout the morning, and it seems like that's the case during the afternoon as well. Now, this is the sustained winds. This is not wind gusts. We are looking at sustained winds now, 10 to 20 miles per hour. And if you're heading over towards, Bar Harbor, Acadia National Park, up through the Bangor area, we are looking at winds sustained 20 to 30 miles per hour right now. That is not the wind gust. These are just sustained winds, and these winds are only going to continue to increase as we head through the afternoon. And as of the latest update, we now are gusting to 37 miles per hour in the Wiscasset area, so approaching that 40 mile per hour threshold, and we certainly will surpass that for just about everybody as we head through the afternoon hours as that cold front gets a little closer. Bar Harbor right now gusting to 38 miles per hour. Many of us between 20 and 30 mile per hour wind gusts at the moment, of course, unless you're not on top of Mount Washington, where it's gusting to almost 100 miles per hour, but that's just an average day for them. Here's a look at your Friday headlines. Yes, we have this storm moving through. We're going to see these south winds gusting 40 to 60 miles per hour. And really that's going to start, around now through noon. And that's going to continue through about 4 or 5 p.m. If you are in the western part of the state, the winds will probably drop off pretty quickly around 4 o'clock. If you are in central Maine, say you are in the mid-coast, you're over towards Augusta, it'll probably be closer to about 5, maybe even 5:30 or so, that the winds will kind of drop off as the cold front passes through. We're only looking at about a half an inch to an inch of rain. So this is not going to be a major rain producer, which is not a bad thing, of course, because we all know 2 years ago when we had the Grinch storm of 2023, when we had, several inches of rain, areas across the north, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain, that caused a catastrophe in terms of river flooding. That is not going to be the case with this system. It's more so the winds that we are concerned about. And then we also have to watch for the potential of some icy spots for the nighttime tonight. I don't want to overplay it, but I don't want to underplay it, that we are going to see The rains stop between about 4 to 6 p.m. from west to east. If you're Western Maine, you're probably ending around 4 o'clock, give or take. If you're over towards, Bar Harbor and Bangor, it's probably 6, maybe even 7 o'clock that the rain ends. That being said, the temperatures are going to continue to drop very quickly from the 50s into the 30s, eventually into the 20s by the time we get to tonight. Around midnight is when we are going to see numbers about that freezing mark. And then after midnight, temperatures will drop below the freezing mark. So how much does the wind dry up the roads? That's the biggest question, because we could be dealing with some icy spots. There is going to be icy spots tomorrow morning. It's just a matter of how much does the wind actually dry up the roads. And of course, it's going to be dependent and variable depending on where you are in the area, no matter where you are in the state, I should say. But hopefully these winds will help dry up the roads. I do expect some ponding on the roadways, on the sidewalks. And all of that is just going to freeze right up as we head through the overnight hours. So here's your forecast. As we head through the next, say, 8 to 10 hours, we are going to see the rain for the afternoon, a rumble of thunder. We've already seen some rumbles of thunder in parts of mid-coast and down east Maine, but we will see the weather warning continue through the evening hours. I did drop the weather warning once we passed, the 5, 6 o'clock hour, because the winds are going to calm down, the rain's going to stop. But we are going to still see some gusty winds as we head through the evening and nighttime. I just wouldn't consider it weather warned criteria for the winds as we head through the evening and nighttime. So let's get a look at the storm tracker. This is around noontime, and you can see we are looking at periods of rain, some steady rain, also some embedded downpours, maybe some rumbles of thunder. I think the best chance for seeing some rumbles of thunder will be with this line, and you can see that developing 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon over towards Vermont and New Hampshire. But take a look at this. It's 57 degrees, and of course, these aren't going to be exact numbers, but 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Storm Tracker has 57 degrees in Laconia, New Hampshire. But over in parts of central Vermont, it snowed. So it just gives you the idea of just how strong these temperature gradients are with this cold front. As it moves through, the numbers drop very quickly, 57 to 41 within about an hour and a half to 2 hours in Laconia. And you're going to see the same thing occur in the Portland area, 56 degrees at 3:30 as the cold front is passing through the state. And you notice that flip out over to snow up towards the north mountains, the White Mountains up towards northern New Hampshire, the mountains of Maine as well, northern Maine. We are going to see a little bit of some snow. So the last graphic, it was 56 degrees at 3:30 p.m. This is only an hour and a half later, and it's dropped 12 degrees. We don't see that too often, but we are going to see it for this evening and tonight. These numbers will continue to drop as we head through 11 o'clock. I think Storm Tracker's a little excited with these numbers. I'm not so sure we're already at 28 degrees at 11 o'clock tonight, but I do think we are going to be around the freezing mark, maybe a little bit below by 11 p.m. or midnight. Obviously, the sooner we get to the freezing mark, the better the chance that we have icy conditions for the nighttime tonight. So I'm totally not ruling out that we could see some slick spots, especially tomorrow morning before sunrise. And you see these numbers, and again, I a little excited. Storm Tracker's given us temperatures even down towards Portland in the teens for the nighttime tonight. Not totally sold on that. I think we're in the low to mid 20s for many areas in southern and central Maine, but skies clear out for the daytime. Tomorrow, we're going to see some sunshine, and then we'll see the chance for some scattered snow showers up towards the north as we head through Saturday night into the day on Sunday, more so Sunday morning before really the sun rises. Then we will see a mixture of sun and clouds for the day on Sunday. But let's get back to this storm system, and let's talk about what everybody wants to know. We are looking at, by the time we get to 12 o'clock, wind gusts upwards of 30 to 40 miles per hour. We fast forward this to 2 p.m. Now we're looking at, instead of 30 to 40, now we're looking at 40 to 50 miles per hour. Once we get through, actually, let me back that up a little bit. And you can see as the cold front is passing, and again, these aren't going to be exact numbers, but it gives you the idea that 3 p.m., we could be looking at wind gusts approaching 50, 55, maybe even 60 miles per hour in some parts of especially mid-coast and down eastern Maine. And then we are eventually going to see the winds drop off a little bit once we get to about 5 o'clock, especially for the western half of the state as the cold front has already passed through. And you can actually see the winds here. This is out ahead of the cold front. We have the winds out of the south very strong, but then behind the cold front, it is a due westerly wind, and that'll probably be between 10 to 20 miles per hour, maybe some gusts upwards of 30 as we head through the afternoon or through the evening and nighttime tonight. Let me get rid of those thing. Actually, let's just go on to this graphic. Here we go. So this is the wind gust forecast. Again, this is not the gust that you're going to see all the time during the afternoon, but it is probably where we peak, where the maximum wind gust will be. Could be upwards of 50, I think 55 to 60 for most areas along the coastline. An isolated area may see upwards of 60 to 65, but I would say most of us along the coastline, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts will be the maximum wind gust we see. Again, that is not going to be the consistent wind. That is just the maximum wind gusts we see. Up through the Lewiston, Augusta area could see 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts up towards the mountains as well. And the orange shading more so 35 to 45. So we are going to, again, see a very windy afternoon as we head through the daytime today. Now, let me get to some of your guys' questions. Thank you guys for tuning in. Angel tuning in from Portland. It is windy right now in the Portland area. Yes, the winds are starting to pick up. Melissa tuning in, just some rain in Monmouth. No wind yet. Interesting. Maybe we'll see some wind gusts start to pick up there soon. And Klein, absolutely crazy wind here in Sugarloaf. Trees are falling left and right. Interesting. I mean, I'm not surprised because, of course, you're talking about Sugarloaf, but what do you mean by they're falling left and right? Are you looking at like trees falling down all over the place? I'd love to know a little more information on that. But who else do we have here? Allie tuning in. Conditions is expected for Sanford. Honestly, again, gusts probably 40 to 50 miles per hour in the Sanford area. You're going to see the rain throughout the afternoon. You're going to see some downpours at times. You may see a rumble of thunder as that cold front passes through as we head through the daytime today. And Barbie, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the shout out. And what else we have? Welcome. Denise, much welcomed rain in Bridgeton. Luckily, no wind as of now. Fingers crossed. I hate to say, you better cross those fingers very tight because maybe do like a double cross or something because we are certainly going to see the winds as we head through the daytime today. All right, Georgia, hi, hello to you. How high will the winds be in J? So J, I would say you're probably looking at in J, you'll probably see max gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. That would be what I would say in that window. And I think the time frame of that is 2 to 4 p.m. when you'll see the maximum wind gusts. Could be as early as 1, but I would say 2 to 4 p.m. would probably be the best chance for some of the strongest wind gusts as we head through the J area and most areas. Oh, look at this, Doug tuning in with a little thunder potentially. Yes. We've seen some while we're at it. While I'm at these comments, let's pull up the radar again because you guys saw my reaction live. If you were tuning in, you can see we've had a few rumbles of thunder over the last couple hours. You can see them right there, specifically over in areas of down east, Bangor. So, hey, you're certainly going to run the risk as we head through the daytime today for a few rumbles of thunder. I don't think it's a big deal, but I do think it is pretty cool to see thunder and lightning, and you're talking almost Christmas. But yeah, that is cool. Hopefully, maybe you did see some. I wouldn't be surprised. What else do we have? Benjamin tuning in. We haven't gotten much for wind yet in the Bangor area. Again, especially because you guys are further away from the cold front, it's going to be a little bit longer. Your guys' max wind gusts, instead of like 1 to 3, is probably more so 3 to 5, 6 p.m. You'll probably see your strongest wind gusts as that cold front approaches. And Paul tuning in. Nothing here in OOB. You got to be having some rainfall, and it looks like on radar you have some rain falling. Maybe not too much in the way of winds. We can actually pull the winds back up. Once I get this on, give me 1 second. These are sustained winds that I'm about to show. Once it actually loops, there we go. We are looking at again, sustained winds right now. These are being reported of 10 to 20 miles per hour, a little stronger though over towards Bar Harbor and Bangor. Berlin's starting to show off a little bit, a wind speed sustained of 21 miles per hour. Wind gusts, again, 25 to 35 right now for most areas, especially down towards the coastline, 20 to 30 miles per hour for many areas for inland Maine, I should say. But Berlin right now, look at that, gusting upwards of 35 miles per hour right now. So we are certainly in the thick of things, and we are going to continue to see this rain as we head through the afternoon and evening. Hopefully you guys aren't busy at noon, because I will be back on at noon and I will give you an update. And I'm sure Charlie will be back in for the evening, and he will give you another update as we head through the nighttime tonight. We also have Hannah coming in as well. So we will be on top of things. And I, again, prepare for some strong gusty winds. We head through the afternoon. I think the strongest wind gusts are between 1 and 5 p.m. Earlier in the western part of the state, later in the eastern part of the state. And the rain will be steady for probably, I would say, the next 5 to 6 hours through about 4 to 6 p.m. It will come to an end between that time frame, I would say, from west to east. Once again, the cold front passes through 2 to 5 p.m. across the state. So most of this wraps up this evening. Just be prepared. If you are stepping out tomorrow morning, you may see some slick spots. You may go to your car and, the car is iced over. Temperature is going to drop into some teens below mid 20s for the nighttime tonight. So winds are going to pick up and rain will pick up at times as well. Hope you guys can all join me at noon. I will be back on and giving you the latest update. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your Friday and almost Merry Christmas. All right, everybody. Have a good